Hey, what's up, everyone? I went through a bag of old ammunition that was given to me. I think I might have actually mentioned it in a past video, but I was thinking about some stuff today, and I said this would be interesting to kind of focus on one particular type of ammunition. So, first thing I want to point out too is that I have a 22 long rifle, a 22 short, and a 22 CB. Now, 22 CB can go by. Actually, I'm sorry, that's 22 BB. Now, 22 BB, 22 CB, and 6 millimeter Floebert are actually extremely similar. I'm going to kind of go over that a bit today from my reading of them. Right here, you have the 22 BB. Now, this has a very small case. It's rimfire, um, and it's primed just the way a typical rimfire cartridge would be primed in the rim, and it has no powder. It's just this small lead BB, and that BB is usually, from my reading, about 18 to 20 grains. Now, just to compare that with a 22 short, you can see that 22 short's quite a bit bigger, and then we have an old. Let's put them this way. This might be a little bit easier. And then we have this old 22 long rifle. So you can see, for those of you who feel that the 22 long rifle is very diminutive, check out that size difference there. That 22 BB is really small. Now, there's also one called the 22 CB, as I had alluded to. The 22 CB stands for conical bullet. And when you see the 22 CB, it's actually kind of pointy at the top. It kind of looks like what you'd see from some air rifle pellets. It's kind of interesting. And this box that I had some ammunition still in their original packages. I'm guessing these are from probably the early 60s. And we have some Stoger Arms Corp BB caps, 22 cal. And we have, again, Stoger Arms BB caps. So you get 100 in here. I'd love to know how much the original purchaser paid for them. Bet it was pretty cheap. Bet it was less than $1. Um, so I thought it'd be kind of interesting. I'm ashamed to say that I had never heard of the 22 BB cap or the 22 CB cap until I purchased this Heritage Rough Rider. When I purchased the Heritage Rough Rider, one of the reasons I liked it is because it shoots 22 long rifle, one of my favorites. You can change the cylinder, put 22 Magnum. It also shoots 22 short, which I also have an affinity for. Don't ask me why though. And I saw that it shoots 22 BB cap and 22 CB. And I said, what the heck's a 22 BB cap? And I looked into it. I'm like, oh crap, it's these little guys here. So then when I had never seen when I read about them at that point. And then when I saw these, I was kind of amazed. Like, you don't see 22 BB caps very often. As a matter of fact, not too long ago, I went searching for them. I think I found one place on the internet who was selling them. And as you might imagine, they were a little pricier than your typical 22 ammunition. I looked again today and I could not find them anywhere. What I did find was um, an old listing from Midway USA, and they were selling them for 50 cents a round, I believe. I think you got a tin of like three was I forget the exact price, but it was like a pack of like three tins or something, and they were 50 cents a round. Now, again, from my reading of them, because obviously I don't have a chronograph and I wouldn't have tested. I'm a little lazy, so I probably wouldn't have tested them. But from what I'm reading, they go around 750 feet per second. I'm not sure if that's in a handgun or a rifle, and they get about 26 foot-pounds. So they have power that's equivalent to a typical 22 caliber air rifle. So whatever your 22 caliber air rifle can do, the 22 pistol shooting the CB can also do. Another interesting thing was, besides being 22 BB and 22 CB, it's also 6 millimeter Floebert, and it was invented by a French gentleman. I believe his name was Nicolas Floebert in the 1850s, and it's kind of cool. He actually invented these to be fired in these little guns that were considered, they were called like parlor guns, and people with larger houses would set up like a little, kind of like a little shooting gallery, I guess, in their living room. So you'd have some company over and you'd say, hey, let's go shooting in the living room, and they would practice shooting in the living room, which I guess is really doable considering it only has 26 foot-pounds of energy. There's no powder in there, so you wouldn't have it be really smoky or anything. And if you have a decent backstop, like I said, you're not gonna have to worry about penetration. And it also wouldn't be that loud, like really crazy loud or anything. So it kind of makes some sense. Um, I think it sounds like a lot of fun, to be honest with you. And then later on, they actually put them in gallery guns, like for carnivals and stuff. I gotta tell you, I think if I had found these at the store, I think I would have bought a bunch of them. I think it just sounds like a ton of fun just to kind of hit paper, you know. The problem is that a lot of people don't know about them, and if they did, they wouldn't have any interest in them. Like I said, you know, some people say they're good for small. They could be good for small pest elimination. I could see that, especially if you're in an area where your neighbors aren't too far away. I could see how they would excel at that versus 22 long rifle or 22 short. Now, the only thing is they're kind of pricey. There's not that demand for them. I mean, I'm sure if it got to the point where demand for these ever hit like 22 long rifle demand, they could probably make them for like, you know, sell them for like 4 cents a piece. But I mean, most people don't know what these are. And if they did, they wouldn't be interested. It's only kind of people like me who take a deep interest in old stuff, I think, who actually really like this stuff. Um, I thought it'll be interesting to bring it up to you, though. I have actually seen guns chambered in 6 millimeter Floebert on some online auctions, and I'm like 6 millimeter Floebert, and I mistakenly figured it was like some like pinfire cartridge or something. Especially they were French revolvers, and I was totally off on it. Totally off. There was actually 22 BB cap. So when you see 22 CB, 22 BB, and 6 millimeter Floebert, it's basically the same thing. So that's basically all I have here for you. I just wanted to kind of bring this to some other people if you happen to see them out. I would definitely pick them up if you ever see them at a yard sale or something. I know I would because it's going to be kind of tough to get one at you know, in a gun shop. I do have one gun shop near me who has a lot of oddball stuff, and I think it's probably like the only gun shop I could call up and say, "Hey, do you have 6 millimeter Floebert?" And he's not going to say, "What the hell are you talking about?" So I might give that a shot. I'm not really counting on it though, and I also wouldn't pay a lot of money for. I mean, 50 cents a round at Midway USA. That means one of these canisters in 2022 is going to go for $50 plus tax. And if you're getting it online, shipping. No, thank you. I like to have them, but not that much. Um, for that price, I could buy in today's market 3 boxes of 9 millimeter. No, thank you. So I will leave you with that. I'd encourage you to read a little bit more about the history. It's pretty interesting, and like I said, it's almost purely a recreational kind of like home fun kind of thing, and it's just cool. I think that came about in the mid 1800s. But if you're not subscribed, I'd appreciate a subscription. Like the video if you like the video, and I will see you next time.